What a crazy Thursday, just out of left field. Boise State, San Diego State, Fresno State, and Colorado State, as we know that I got to find out late last night, early in the morning, that they are heading to the Pac-12. It is a new era. The conference is back, and as we know, they need at least two more to hit that 8-team threshold that the NCAA has to have you as a true conference. And the crazy thing is, Pete Nakos listed an article on On3 about potential expansion teams while also saying something very important. He said that a source told them that the Pac-12, I said this last night, the Pac-12 could reopen talks about the college football playoff's new TV $7.8 billion contract, which begins in the 26-27 season. The Mountain West school exit fees sit at $17 million per institution, with entrance fees to the Pac-12 at $43 million. All options are on the table. The conference could dip back into the Mountain West or turn its attention to the former members Cal and Stanford, who are now in the ACC or other group of 5 teams. So I find this interesting because I was talking about it last night. I said, the college football playoff, if they get that moniker back of a power conference, we could see an automatic qualifier opening up, but also at the same time in 2026, the current contract ends for the college football playoff, so we could be entering a whole new way of automatic qualifiers for certain conferences, and it's just crazy. But he listed the schools that the Pac-12 should mostly target, and the first one he pointed out, he said he talked with sources. He said Memphis was the first one, which I agree with, because we got to think here, this is big for some of these schools that are about to be listed, that you can compete with basically the top of some of these G5 teams competing together. Memphis, Boise State. The next one he listed was Tulane, which, as we know with Tulane, they've been one of the most successful programs in general over the last few years, just winning. Yes, you lose Willie Fritz to Houston, but you bring in John Summerall, with which everything he touched turned to gold at Troy with back-to-back Sun Belt Conference titles. It's crazy. And then you have Jeff Traylor. The other one he listed is UTSA. Just these teams on the rise with coaches that are on the rise that are good. And it's Texas. Everybody wants a Texas team in their conference. You can't go wrong having a Texas market. And then with Tulane, he pointed to that it gives you the central time zone as well in your conference, because as we know now, you got the regional teams with the current Mountain West Conference schools, if you don't add any more. But regionality, as we know, is practically dead, which sucks. But he also lists Cal and Stanford, which I texted my buddy this morning. I was like, I wouldn't be surprised if we did see them try to steal them back, but I was almost like didn't believe it, but I was like, if I was Stanford, I'd go back ASAP. But he lists Cal and Stanford. He said, will the ACC settle with the schools and open a window for Cal and Stanford to head back to the West Coast? Remains to be seen. I doubt it, but he said that multiple sources told On3 it's a logical move for Cal and Stanford to join the Pac-12 if a window opens to allow them to leave the ACC. UNLV, this was the first one I thought of outside of the schools that were already added, simply because it's Las Vegas. Allegiant Stadium was there for the Pac-12 and the conference titles, but I mean, it's Las Vegas, dude. And UNLV's been crazy currently with the go-go offense. I just blanked on their coordinator, but you have Odom there doing an incredible job. Air Force, this would be cool. I would like to see Air Force go, because Coach Calhoun there has just been doing an amazing job for years. Not many people have won the way he does, especially at a program like that. So I'd love to see him, who he stated as well. And then he says Wyoming and New Mexico. Those are two other Mountain West schools. It's just weird to see who they would possibly add. I personally would love for them to go out for Memphis or Tulane like that. Keep it, or try to expand, or UTSA. Get these top G5 schools that have been competing recently all in the same conference. Like that, I believe that will get you a lot of respect, I would hope. Because, I mean, just imagine Boise State and Memphis going on the gridiron every year. Tulane, if they keep it going with Summerall, dude. How awesome that would be. UTSA. I mean, I love the idea for the teams he gets expanded. But now I want to talk about the Mountain West Conference, the North Dakota schools. You have North Dakota State and San Diego State. Would be interesting. But the Montana schools, I didn't even think about that. What would be awesome that I hope happens? I don't know how realistic this is. There's no sources or anything, or no one's talking about this. But I would love for the Mountain West to add North Dakota State, San Diego State, Montana, and Montana State. You were talking about rich tradition programs with a winning tradition, but those are teams that win, and those are brands that people know. Even if you don't pay attention to FCS football, you at least know those brands, I would say, from TV, a little bit of exposure if you haven't been to it. I've been to Bozeman. It's a beautiful place. Please go after those schools, Mountain West, if you decide to expand, because adding those schools to the FBS would be awesome, and I would love to see them up there with Wyoming. It makes the Mountain West Conference still an awesome and entertaining conference.